wrote an open letter to leaders of Muslim states asking them to unite against Islamophobia, particularly in the West. Why did you feel the need to write that public letter?
The problem is there's this big communication gap between the Islamic world and the Western societies. It happened after 9/11, when the word Islamic terrorism came into currency. The moment you say Islamic terrorism, the man in the street in the West thinks that there's something in Islam which leads to terrorism, or Islam causes radicalism. After 9/11, any time some terrorist act went on where a Muslim was involved, the entire 1.3 billion Muslims started becoming targets.
Just across your border in Western China, the Chinese government has imprisoned more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims.
He's like, good point about the reactionary point of view being launched in the Western world. Instead of talking about that, let's go back to what's going on in China. It is Imran Khan, the Pakistani PM, who is 1,000% not going to criticize China. There's no shot. No fucking shot. Let's see what he says.
In re-education camps, the Chinese government has tortured Muslims, forcibly sterilized them, and they've destroyed mosques in Xinjiang and also punished Muslims for fasting, praying, even giving Muslim names to their children. Prime Minister, why are you so outspoken about Islamophobia in Europe and the United States, but totally silent about the genocide of Muslims in Western China?
What our conversations have been with the Chinese, this is not the case, according to them.
The evidence is just overwhelming.
Whatever.
Damn. He didn't even fucking deflect. He literally just said, that's crazy.
Issues we have with the Chinese, we speak to them behind closed doors. China has been one of the greatest friends to us in our most difficult times. When we were really struggling, our economy was struggling, China came to our rescue. So we respect the way they are. And whatever issues we have, we speak behind closed doors.
I think a more honest answer is like, why don't people just say this, what I'm about to say? What do you want me to do? Like, why doesn't he just literally say, what do you want me to do? America's not even doing anything about it. They just bring it up as a talking point, and they're not even doing anything about it. What do you want me to fucking denounce it so that we can't be an effective trade partner with China? We don't have the kind of power that America has, and even America's not fucking stopping their trade from China for that respect. But China can easily turn around and be like, yeah, we're not gonna partner up with you anymore, Pakistan. You know what I mean? That's what more people should say, actually. Just like, yeah, what can we do? Do you have suggestions? Jonathan Swan of Axios News? If they come back with a good point, you would look incompetent. But like, there is no good point there. There's nothing you can do. Just like, even when I talk about like American imperialism and the death and destruction that America either funds or supports or engages in, as an American citizen, I can't fucking stop this country. And I get pushback from my own countrymen on this issue. Like, Chinese motherfuckers don't have that right, even. Like, they don't have that kind of liberty to be able to be like, hold up, yo, CCP, y'all gotta stop this, okay? You gotta stop doing this cultural genocide shit. I mean, seriously. Work camps, round-the-clock surveillance of 10 million people that you have considered to be, like, extremist, separatist terrorists. Not good. Like, what are you gonna do? They can't do anything. The Chinese people can't do anything. What the fuck is Pakistan going to do? Which is why a lot of these world leaders in Muslim countries, with I guess the notable exception of like, I guess the notable exception of like Erdogan from time to time, rarely ever speak out against it, and in many instances will literally run defense for China. I think that's the worst part. The worst part about this conversation is that, like, they end up running defense for China.
Come, this is such a big issue in the Western world. Why are the people of Kashmir ignored? It is much more relevant. Compared to what might be going in the Uyghurs, 100,000 Kashmiris have been killed.
Yeah, he's trying to talk about Kashmir and what, like, the fascist Indian government is doing in Kashmir to a predominantly Muslim population. Forced expulsions, murder, kidnapping of politicians in the region. And, like, and in that conversation, if you were, like, turning it around and being like, hey, well, what about Chinese, what about what's going on in Chinese work camps and shit like that? You're like, okay, you're saying Kashmir wrong. Just use the whitewash pronunciation. Kashmir. Both are bad. Motherfucker, he's the prime minister of Pakistan. What do you mean, dude? Both are bad. To him, this is a very important issue. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, no shit, both are bad. What the fuck do you mean? Yeah, both are bad. But you're not making, like, a profound fucking statement here. You're not expressing something that is unique here. The Chinese national government is over 90 to 95% approval rating with its citizens according to Western pollsters. Not sure if you're aware of that. No, I know that the Chinese the Chinese nation loves its government for the most part. No, I think that the Chinese government has, like, I think, wait, by the way, boys, for the record, I do think that the Chinese government is, like, pretty fucking popular amongst its own citizens. Like, I don't think that that's, like, maybe not to the degree that it's like 95%, but it's certainly more popular than say you love it or your family dies. No. I think this is a cultural difference that is difficult for people to discern, especially in Western civilization. Western societies do not understand it. First and foremost, it doesn't fucking matter if, like, the Chinese citizenry enjoy the Chinese government's actions or like it or have a high approval rating. Like, if you ask the fucking Uyghurs living in the region that are being oppressed and their culture being fucking removed, then, yeah, those guys are not super fond of China, obviously. Not the Muslim citizens. See, that's where tankies will fucking own you and say, that's not even true. It's just the separatist Muslims in East Turkestan or Xinjiang. So those are the people that China is targeting. You can still practice Islam in other parts of China and be from a different ethnic background and be Muslim, and literally fucking tankies will point that out routinely. Yeah, see? There you go. The place where they're building more mosques. Yeah, dude. Anyway, so the point I was going to make is that, like, roommate in college came from an hour outside of Shanghai, pretty much said he had no idea people viewed China negatively until he moved here. Yeah, the point people don't understand is, like in a lot of these countries, like in China, for example, there is an understanding that your government will take care of you as long as you fucking keep your head down. Okay? Not criticize it too much, not rock the boat too much, but there's, like, a cultural cohesion that, you know, everyone's going to do all right. The government's going to do right by you as best as they possibly can, as long as you know, keep your fucking head down and don't think about it too much. And that's part of the reason why they have that mentality. And by the way, the government does do right by a lot of people to the best of their ability. So I understand why. People have faith in their government with respect to that. Just like, I'm Han Chinese, I don't really give a shit. You know, the government's like literally building fucking high-speed rail everywhere. As long as I don't, you know, as long as I'm not like thinking too hard about it, and you know, trying to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, or trying to be contrarian for obvious reasons, like the lack of free speech, or like all of the control that the government has over my life, then it doesn't matter. It's like, it literally just talk to fucking, yeah, beliefful Adrian Zen shit. Man, shut up. God, China boos are so fucking weird, dude. You're just a Cinnaboo, okay? Like, you are a weeb for the CCP. Like, you have to understand that you can be critical of the actions of another giant hegemonic power in its endless conquest to also become the hegemonic global superpower against the United States of America. Okay? Fuck. I'm not going to abandon my fucking principles and my belief system and devalue every fucking criticism I have against America when China's doing it and it's considered like a balancing counterweight to American imperialism. Shut up. Anyway. Philius on, don't you know nothing bad can ever happen under communism? It's like the people are still evil or something like that. Well, first of all, like saying that China is communist is kind of wild. We're saying the foundations of you saying the citizens have no say is empirically false. It's not just five dudes waving a hand. No, I think the citizens don't have any say beyond like straight up rebellion. If the government was too authoritarian, that's the power dynamic in authoritarian countries. If the delicate balance of authoritarianism while also simultaneously uplifting certain parts of the country if the balance fell out in favor of the authoritarianism over uplifting certain parts of the country, then there would be a rebellion. And that's the way that things happen on that side of the world. Okay? Anyway. The issue with the Chinese government is that they're oblivious at the top of the hour. Oh, fuck you, dude. I shouldn't have read that. I was going to do it on my own. Yeah, it's top of the fucking hour. That's the issue with the Chinese government, okay? And they refuse to recognize it. My endless thirst for reading chatter takes fucking ruined it. And if you'd like to no longer see the ads, well then, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. Okay? With a Twitch Prime, that is. And here's the ad break now. God damn it. Okay. Here it is.
There are 800,000 Indian troops, which have literally, it's an open prison in Kashmir. 9 million Kashmiris are put there. Why is that not an issue? So I think it's hypocrisy.
They've been a huge partner to you, China, but on some level, doesn't it make you feel sick to have to be quiet because of all this money they're putting into Pakistan?
I look around the world what's happening in Palestine, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Afghanistan. Am I going to start talking about everything? I concentrate on what is happening on my border, in my country.
This is on your border.
Which is part of, no, that is part of Pakistan. 100,000 Kashmiris are dying. That concerns me more because half of Kashmir is in Pakistan.
This is a grotesquely large human rights atrocity.
First of all, I'm not sure about that because
See, this is the part where it's like bullshit. Like, don't say, first of all, I'm not sure about that.
Conversations.
But he has to. I mean, otherwise China will be like, oh, yeah? No longer are we fucking trading with you in the same way. Fuck
conversation
you.
with the Chinese, this is not the picture
I'm sure they tell
that
you
comes
that.
from that side.
So just to put
He
a
literally talks like you when people ask you about China. No, I'm very fucking open about... I never say I don't know about the cultural genocide of Uyghurs in Xinjiang. I never say that. I literally very openly state that China is engaging in absolutely rewriting the culture of Uyghur, of Muslim Uyghurs living in Xinjiang, and they do absolutely do this. They have fucking work camps. They have round-the-clock government surveillance. They do some of the most inhumane bullshit imaginable to these people, the 10 million people that live in that region, okay? And they want to basically turn them into Han Chinese. They want to destroy any kind of like attempt that they may have in the future to build like an autonomous East Turkestan, okay? That's it. That's just the truth. Like, that's literally the fucking truth. And not only that, but also, like, if you ask Xi Jinping, like, the reason why China is doing this, if you ask him, is because they're separatists. They're extremist separatists, terrorists. And he has to deal with them this way because America, that's what he learned from America, dealing with Muslim extremism. This is the official, like, statement from Xi Jinping. So, kind of weird that, like, the very same Marxist-Leninists or Dengus in the chat that uphold Xi Jinping's supremacy refuse to just recognize what Xi Jinping has personally said about this issue while simultaneously talking about American imperialism. And then refuse to say that, and then turn around and say like it's CIA propaganda, basically. Okay, that's what it is. Oh, sorry. Thank you for repeating CIA propaganda. You're citing leaked internal documents, dude. They use the same shit for the Iraq War. No doubt what's happening is Islamophobic and fucked up, but genocide is a stretch, my man. I mean, I didn't say genocide. I said cultural genocide. Like, the thing that I don't believe in is the actual, like, they're stealing bodies and like doing they're robbing people of their organs and then selling them in the black market. Like, that sort of stuff reeks of, I haven't seen enough evidence for it, and that sort of stuff does reek like CIA propaganda. But to say that like there aren't documented fucking labor camps where people of Uyghur descent are not being retrained, and those labor camps are literally like, they're functionally prisons, is so stupid. Like, the organ harvesting stuff, yeah, it's that's conspiracy. And people will literally turn around and tell me that I'm a China shill for that. Okay? I love this community because you have edgy anarchists, hardcore MLMs, and sock them libs who think they're the most radical people in the chat, but actually have no idea what's going on.
A fine point on this. You are not in any way concerned about the Muslim Uyghurs in Xinjiang.
Our discussions with China.
He's just like, this conversation was supposed to, for him, this conversation is supposed to be about Kashmir and why the Western nations don't give a fuck about what's happening to Muslims that he feels that he's supposed to be protecting. Okay? And in a way, Jonathan Swan is like literally proving, what his point is, which is that like no one gives a fuck about Muslims unless it's like unless it's, you know, unless they're victims in the hands of America's like foreign adversary. Anyway. But why would you mainstream op-ed writers paid by the U.S. government who defended the Bolivia coup lie to me when it comes to China? Wait, what? Organ harvesting isn't CIA propaganda. It's a Chinese cult propagandizing, thinking that they're cult members of sacred organs. They run the newspaper, the Epoch Times. Yeah, you're talking about Falun Gong. Except Falun Gong is like an ally to the CIA. So saying that that's Falun Gong propaganda or saying that that's CIA propaganda is the same thing. The same picture. So, oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like the greatest like anti-China news outlet that also happens to fund white supremacist terrorists all around the world for some weird reason, or defend white supremacist fascists all around the world for some reason, is Falun Gong, a fucking insane Chinese cult. But of course, we consider them to be our allies because China is our adversary, and those guys hate the Chinese government. So, but you know, they're just radicalizing your parents at home with Epoch Times. The issue is, where are those millions of numbers coming from? What are the source? If there are reliable sources for those numbers, I'm open that info. I haven't seen it. I've only seen service with like 5 people for that million number. If evidence to the contrary can be on, I'll join your side. Okay.